The mighty song of the ocean. Beneath the waves, the story of a young whale's astonishing voyage across uncharted waters is about to begin. But this is not Earth's ocean, nor is this an Earth whale. This is the saga of South Scrimshaw, a game documentary hybrid created by the brilliant Nathan O. Marsh. In this video, we'll follow the young whale's odyssey through the alien ocean depths, and discover a tale of loss and deep connections. And you can play the full game yourself and support the artist using the links below. Now, the sea is calling. The journey of a lifetime begins in the comforting warmth of an aquatic egg. A newborn mind is getting their very first look at sunlight through the membrane of their sanctuary. This is a male whale calf, not the sort of creature one might expect to find incubating inside an egg. But this is no ordinary egg, and this is no ordinary calf, and his extraordinary life is about to start. A thunderous call reverberates from the unknown world beyond the egg, shaking the calf to his core. Yet the calf isn't frightened. He recognizes the call as his mother's. Instincts tell him to stretch his new body for the first time, pushing against the membrane of the egg. A seam begins to open. Just one more impressive stretch, and the only world he's ever known opens into a blinding light. Warm, tropical shallows flourish on the other side of the egg. To be completely technical, this is not an egg as we'd understand it, but a kind of external womb that local scientists call a birthing shell. Like most mammals on our planet, the whales we know give live birth, but we are no longer on our planet. At last, the calf enters the teeming waters. A bewildering array of life overwhelms his delicate senses. Tiny fish waste no time in gobbling flecks of nutrients. Foliage seems to react to our calf's presence, clinging to him like they have a mind of their own. Even with his mother's reassuring call, this is all too much for the calf. He swims downward, passing bizarre sponges and crustaceans that dwell amidst the fronds. Something gently puts a stop to his panic dive. Our calf is being carried to the surface. The upward motion is tender, like the steady movements of a cradle. The young whale has no idea what to make of any of this. At last, he breaches and enjoys his first critical breath of air. Like Earth whales, he can't breathe underwater, and might have drowned without intervention. Now, the calf finds himself in an empty expanse. In an ordinary season, this region would be filled with whales just like himself. Instead, the surface is woefully empty, with the unusual exception of a large mass of plants. Our calf stares at the peculiar island. The plant fronds continue to tenderly grasp at him. None of his instincts are any help. Something moves atop the heap of plant matter. What is it? Nothing good, the infant decides. The surface world is much too strange. Diving back under the surface, the poor calf is overwhelmed with fear and hunger. He knows he needs to nurse, but can't locate his mother. The plants ensnare him once again, as if detecting helplessness. But though only minutes old, our calf is still able to fight for survival, biting the vines. His mother's comforting call makes him stop. The remarkable truth finally dawns on our calf. The mass of foliage is his mother, and she has been with him all along. She is a Brillo whale at a remarkable later stage of life, a window into the calf's astonishing future. A suspicious pile of rock lies on the sandy floor of the Brillo breeding grounds. This warrants closer inspection. Time for a deep scan. Just as we suspected, it's a stone dog. This unique animal lives in a shell of scavenged material, much like the nomadic hermit crabs of Earth's beaches. The stone dog is trying to hide, but is it a convincing form of camouflage? The creature checks to make sure it hasn't been spotted. Too late. Our calf is looking for fun, not food, but the stone dog doesn't know this. Our calf has grown curious and rambunctious. His tumultuous birth hasn't hindered his playfulness. He enjoys lifting his fluke into the air, something earth whales do for a variety of reasons, including showing off. Light rain has begun to fall, a phenomenon completely novel to the young calf. A bellow from his mother reminds him not to wander off. Though eager for adventure, the little calf is still much too anxious to leave her side. He excitedly shows his mother what he has found exploring, by bumping it into her face. The mother is trying to rest, but her love for her son is stronger than her weariness. And this playing is not mere frivolity. For cetaceans like whales and dolphins, play is a vital part of cognitive development, serving as important training for catching food. But right now, there's only one type of food our whale calf cares about. His mother's milk will provide the nourishment needed to grow a special layer of spongy tissue that makes Brillo whales so unique. In adult Brillo whales, this tissue acts as a refuge for other organisms, allowing for symbiosis beyond anything here on Earth. The mother has chosen to bond with botanical matter, and while she might appear overrun, the truth is far more interesting. Another deep scan will reveal how plant and animal life have merged to an extraordinary degree. Unlike the stone dog, the foliage and small animals surrounding the mother whale's body aren't just camouflage, but a way of life. Like a kind of living hotel, her body has designated areas where other life forms can take up residence, with a secondary layer protecting her vitals from her many house guests. But this bizarre anatomy leaves us with more questions than answers. Most notably, what is the benefit of such a peculiar system? To help us visualize the explanation, we'll get a little help from a sea bunny, better known as a sea bun. The sea bun is a mascot that has long been associated with this planet. However, it is not a real animal, even in this world. The sea bun myth originates from early days of planetary exploration, and was something of an urban legend among the first scientists. Over the years, the joke took on a life of its own, with some people mistakenly believing the sea bun to be an actual animal. Yet the sea bun will serve as a helpful example for why an organism might want to bond with a whale. Underwater locomotion is energy intensive, and carpooling with another life form can be a great benefit. Living on a huge whale also means predators might think twice about getting close. In return, some animals that partner with Brillos will help them hunt for food. Some Brillo partners will even feed directly off the whales themselves, in return for some sort of useful service. It might sound like too strange a partnership to emerge, but we can find analogous relationships right here on Earth. Oxpeckers are birds that clean parasites off the side of large mammals. During the process, the oxpecker skims a marginal amount of the mammal's blood as a sort of nutritional bonus. The large animals put up with this, as the parasite removal service is worth the cost. But Brillos have taken symbiosis to new extremes, to the point where many partner species have evolved specifically to live their lives around the whales. Sometimes, the two life forms become so interdependent they're difficult to tell apart, but such cases are thankfully uncommon. So what kind of a relationship does the mother have with her plants? The answer has to do with photosynthesis. On her own, the mother has no way of extracting energy from the sun, but plants do it all the time, and they share some of the sugars they produce with their generous host. The trade-off is that she must now spend a considerable amount of time near the surface, where there's enough sunlight for the plants to grow. Emerald sea slugs of Earth have a similar partnership with algae that grows within their bodies. However, not all passengers are welcome. This is a blood trilobite, and they aren't here to pay their fair share. The blood trilobite is a bandit, pilfering from a vein with an extended proboscis. Fortunately, the mother has a personal bodyguard. The vellum worm has one duty in this ecosystem: to remove uninvited guests. It's a busy job, as herbivores also seek to feed on her many leaves. A hungry fish thinks they've hit the jackpot. They're in for a rude awakening. The vellum worm has a neurotoxin dispensing barb to make sure gatekeepers get the message. The misfortunate fish stands little chance. The Brillo whale's ecosystem is called a symbiotic garden, but like much of the life on this planet, these plants seem too Earth-like to have evolved independently. Just how did such species come to this alien ocean? That's a question that will have to wait. Right now, our calf has discovered his mother's plants are fun to play with, but she scolds him. Such behavior is currently too risky, for the mother is quite unwell. A sharp branch has punctured through her protective layer. These kinds of complications can emerge in Brillo whales as they get older. The thorns are in danger of injuring her intestines. A sudden movement could mean the end. The mother does not know how long she will be around to protect her calf, and is determined to reach the safety of the Brillo herd before the situation worsens. To understand the voyage ahead, let's examine a simplified map of the surrounding ocean. The dark blue line represents an ocean fault, which pushed up land from the sea, forming the Chartreuse Archipelago. The first human explorers named each island in the chain, including South Scrimshaw, where this documentary gets its title. Thus far, the mother and son have lived in the safety of the nearby region of Thalo Bay, but they have traveled all the way to here, and are about to cross into dangerous open ocean. It is the dawn of a new day. The mother swims under the surface, making mysterious calls through the deep. The calf returns from surfacing, retreating to the safety of the brambles beneath his mother. He doesn't understand the purpose of her calls, but he recognizes she is on alert, and that the waters before them are deeper than any he's known. A sound comes from the far distance. It's the call of another Brillo whale, approaching their position. Our calf is curious about the new arrival. He spots a far-off speck and watches it grow steadily larger. Even as the other whale gets closer, the calf seems uncertain. Something about this other whale just isn't right. The calf retreats further into the bramble nest. The mother admonishes him in response, as if encouraging him to be more neighborly. His apprehension is understandable, for this Brillo whale is in a clever disguise. A false head is located on the creature's tail, an attempt at mimicking a threatening predator. The Brillo has no way to construct such a costume on its own, but this Brillo has a unique symbiotic assistant, a weaver lobe. These astute designers craft intimidating attire for their whale mobile homes to deter attackers. They spin the apparel from a material called ossamer, a unique kind of long-chain polymer. While the animal kingdom is full of clever architects, it seems unlikely that a single organism could create something so complex. Instead, it is likely that a colony of weaver lobes worked together to craft the impressive camouflage. In any case, this Brillo will be a powerful ally for the coming journey, and she is not alone. Like our mother, she is looking to transport her calf to safety. Our calf still isn't feeling very welcoming, and he's in for another surprise visitor. A strange rocky shape approaches from behind. It's another whale. The armored Brillo is also a mother, and seems to be suffering from an internal injury, only able to produce short honks. While the calf is uncomfortable, these traveling companions will make for a safer crossing. His mother nudges him from above. It's time to depart. The deep ocean awaits. Only 75 kilometers now separate the pod from the Great Southern Reef. This final stage of the voyage takes them over a treacherous abyssal trench, so the mothers swim in a defensive formation. With just 3 adults, however, they cannot completely protect their calves. Our youngster has done an admirable job keeping up with their hurried pace. He too can sense there is no time to linger. Something is out there. A dark shadow has been following the pod since the early afternoon. Though it is yet to attack, the unknown pursuer seems to be biding its time. The calf no longer finds the other Brillos quite so frightening. To his left, the stony mother and her child swim in a protective arrangement. This calf seems just as uneasy as ours is. The exterior of the stony mother has reduced in size to become more streamlined, shrinking via some unknown internal mechanism. Even when in exposed waters, Brillos are full of surprises. Our calf doesn't understand the stony mother's changed appearance. He turns his attention to down below, where the mimic mother swims with her calf, alongside a light from one of the documentary crew's drones. Since this light has already interrupted the shot, this seems like a natural moment to discuss the technology used in the documentation of Brillo whales. The scientists who have come to this planet primarily use repurposed drones in the filming of wildlife. The inner workings of these drones are quite sophisticated, allowing them to keep pace with aquatic life without disturbing their natural routines. Returning to the scene, the mimic mother swims upside down to prevent attacks from below. She's uneasy about her role in the formation, as her disguise isn't effective from this angle. Our calf seems concerned as well. His mother reassures him with a hum. He is safe with her. But the shadow remains. It's a penumbra shark, the fastest predator in this ocean. It could close the gap between itself and the whales at any time. There's no rush. Like the lightning-fast sailfish of Earth's oceans, the penumbra shark possesses a mighty dorsal fin. They keep it withdrawn until ready to strike. In an instant, the shark has vanished. In a panic, the mothers break from their defensive formation. Our calf glances down and sees nothing but open ocean. He is completely exposed to attack. Instantaneously, adrenaline floods his system. His brain goes into overdrive, now taking in every horrible detail. The monster's teeth shine like stoplights through the darkness. Our calf cannot possibly escape in time, but his mother has a strategy. Tension resides in her thorny branches that can be released with whip-like speed. One forceful snap, and her child is protected in a fortification of branches. But the shark detects the shift and changes targets to the stone mother's calf, who is woefully exposed. Our calf looks on in horror. The sight is nearly too traumatic to process. It is only due to the vigilance of his mother that our calf survived the encounter. The safety of the reef and the other Brillos are now very close. The mimic mother pulls ahead of the pod. The stone mother follows, disoriented and in shock after losing her only child. Our calf is falling further and further behind. He does not wish to leave his mother, and she is not keeping pace. He swims back to her, trying to coax her to continue, but she is no longer moving. Saving her calf came at the sacrifice of reopening her pre-existing injuries. Not understanding, the calf calls to his mother as he has 100 times before. There is no response. She has done all she can to protect her son, but can hold on no longer. Still, our calf prods his mother to move. At this age, our calf has no hope of surviving alone without a mother's milk or protection. This could be the end. But another call echoes across the water. The stone mother is circling back. A new day begins on the Great Southern Reef. The stone mother has arrived safely, and she is not alone. Our calf drinks its fill of milk, recovering from the arduous journey. It is a moving case of social adoption. The stone mother's exterior has now deflated to the point where we can see she is a young adult, quite small for her species. She has rescued our orphan calf from certain doom, and perhaps the calf has rescued her as well. Physically and emotionally exhausted, the new family gets some much-needed rest. In the morning, they will wake to an entirely new world. Warm sunlight illuminates the coral of the Great Reef. An inquisitive bikini fish picks through the irregular terrain. She's hungry and thinks she's spotted breakfast. The minute eyes of greebles peer out from the alcoves below. The bikini fish has her work cut out for her trying to dig them out. But before she can begin, she is rudely chased off. A large hunter is throwing their weight around. This is a spotted barnacle claw, and it will have no trouble catching greebles. A single forceful tug wrenches the entire colony from the nooks below. The host Brillo whale isn't satisfied with its partner species' choice of food. It needs something a bit meatier. Our young whale witnesses the unfamiliar spectacle from a distance. Even after some time living on the reef, there's always something new to see. The bellows of other Brillos reverberate through the water. Though many are strangers, there is at least one familiar face. Though her appearance has changed considerably, his adoptive mother never strays too far away. Many eye spots now disguise her exterior, likely a response to the penumbra shark attack. And though he might not look it, our whale has changed too. His body has at last developed the kind of necessary tissue layer to bond with other species. But what kind of an adult will he become? It's the most important question in any young Brillo's life. There are nearly unlimited combinations, and the wrong choice can mean disaster. A common strategy is to imitate successful adults. A young Brillo finds a prosperous grown-up and attempts to follow in their footsteps. Adults will sometimes take apprentice Brillos under their flippers for multiple years, providing them with the materials needed to complete a transformation. Not all body plans are equally appealing. This old veteran is welcoming, but our whale isn't sure it's the career for him. It's an understandable feeling, although another Brillo might be more open to the job offer. More than half of Brillos choose to replicate their biological mothers, and our whale seems intent on preserving her legacy. This botanical mass is made of the same plants his mother bonded with, but this Brillo has long passed, and is now nothing but an overgrown graveyard. Though our whale cannot bond with the decayed plants, they still hold an emotional significance. Our whale needs to bond soon, but is having trouble finding a living plant-based Brillo. There is one exception, an adult with a stunning cloak of foliage. But despite repeated attempts from the youngster, this adult doesn't seem interested in taking on an apprentice. He is a lone male, a bachelor looking for a mate, not a babysitting gig. His latest attempt to find love is a dismal failure. She seems confused by his little shadow, who yanks at his well-groomed coat. It's the final straw. Our whale is no longer welcome. The intricacy of Brillo whales' symbiotic gardens is impressive, but not entirely unheard of. A single adult human can have over 39 trillion microbial cells inside their body at a time. Not just germs, these foreign microorganisms play a vital role in our survival. The Brillos just take this concept further by integrating with macroorganisms. There are numerous species our whale could merge with, even if plants are off the menu. This reef is a never-ending menagerie of life. The reason for this abundance has to do with the structure of the coral itself. The Great Southern Reef is a fringing reef, comprised of multiple layers. Spire coral is the reason for the unique structure. This distinct species starts small, then grows steadily until it becomes a towering mass that other corals grow on top of. Within time, the central mass is smothered and the structure becomes over-encumbered. The tower then shatters, collapsing, with new spire coral growing from the fallen giant. This endless cycle has created an environment of innumerable ravines and hideaways. Organisms like saltwater tadpoles thrive in this coral city, spending their early stages safely hidden away, before emerging as mighty carnivores. Well, relatively mighty. Time marches ever onwards. Our young whale has seen many forms of adulthood, some of which are completely baffling. Once again, he isn't interested. One afternoon, his fortunes seem to turn when an impressive hunting party reappears from the wild. The head of the pod calls out to our youngster. He doesn't respond. This adult is a brilliant huntsman, partnering with the chowper, a rather unintelligent shark species who sees him as a pack member and follows his lead. It's an incredible strategy, and this adult is ready to share his tricks of the trade. But our whale still isn't moving. All his attention is on the chowper. His trauma is too severe to partner with a shark species. He flees. Over the coming weeks, our whale's mental health continues to spiral. It is crucial for his survival that he starts symbiosis, but he's too unwell to begin. The agitated youth can sense that time is short, but this stress is little help. More adult Brillos come and go. This camouflage whale is one of the more unique that has appeared on the reef. It is covered in octopuses that have linked themselves together, allowing them to instantly change their colors in unison. Octopuses in our oceans have similar color-shifting abilities, although they pale in comparison to the color-changing abilities of their interplanetary counterparts. But the time has come at last to answer the question of why life on this planet seems so similar to life on Earth. One might assume the answer is convergent evolution, a process by which different species evolve analogous features due to comparable evolutionary pressures. But this answer is not sufficient. The true reason why Brillo whales look so much like Earth whales is that they share a common ancestor. English scientist Francis Crick is notable not just for helping to discover the structure of DNA, but for his theory of directed panspermia. This hypothesis holds that life on Earth might have sprung from seeds spread by an interplanetary civilization. While there is little evidence such a thing happened on Earth, within this universe, such an idea was eventually put into practice on newly discovered Earth-like worlds. Numerous barren planets were intentionally seeded with Earth species. Isolated across light years of space, these biospheres became home to spectacular forms of new life. This camo whale is a perfect example of how strange life can get. He hails our whale as he swims past, but the youth only replies with fear. The youngster is reaching a point of crisis. His innate curiosity dulled, he no longer finds joy in the unknown. Even the dazzling bioluminescence of lamplighter fish yields no reaction. But perhaps not all is lost. Another youth has caught a lamplighter and shows it off to our whale. And for once, our whale doesn't flee from the encounter. Instead, he seems excited to have made a new acquaintance. His sudden sociability is unexpected, but it might have to do with the fact that young whales can't pass partner organisms to their peers, whereas an adult could give him a permanent symbiosis. Perhaps all our whale really needed was a friend he could be himself around. The two whales spend the rest of the day in each other's company. Night comes to the reef, but our whale is up past his usual bedtime. He's out with a pod of other adolescent Brillos. They're here for a rare spectacle. Specks of light from lamplighter fish illuminate the nearby darkness. This bold mating display makes them easy to spot, but the lamplighters don't seem to care about the young whales gobbling them up. It's an example of a strategy known as predator satiation, where prey animals gather in such high numbers they know there's a low chance of them being eaten, so they let the predators have their fill. Completely full and surrounded by glowing lights, our whale appears truly happy to be spending a night with friends. A new dawn, seemingly the same as any other. But today, the tide is particularly low. There are all sorts of interesting things in the shallows, if one isn't too concerned about getting stuck. There's no more time for exploring. Trying to escape the dropping water level, our whale becomes caught in the current of the trenches. One water slide later, and he is unceremoniously dumped into uncharted waters. He's now out past the Great Reef, a dangerous yet intriguing prospect. And he's not alone. Someone is watching from a nearby cave. It's a solitary Brillo whale. Our whale swims closer, although something seems off. This recluse has been exiled from the herd. Banishment is rare in Brillo culture, and was likely the result of a mating joust that turned deadly. Years of painful isolation has made him truly dangerous. Our Brillo says hello once more. Still no response. A helm made from a shark's jaw indicates the hermit's fearsome might, but his secret weapon hides in a watchtower atop his armor. It's a Vorpix octopus, and it senses death is on the menu. He acts as the exile whale's hunting partner. Normally he'd assist in ensnaring prey, but when the target is as helpless as our whale, he prefers to watch. Nothing like a front row seat. A strong emotion overpowers our whale. Is it fear at last? Evidently not. Instead of fleeing, he's playing and calling to the exile as if he's found a new friend. But perhaps even more remarkably, the exile isn't attacking. After decades of loneliness, this sudden compassion seems to have profoundly moved him. He strains to remember a Brillo song that isn't a menacing warning. It's not quite the show the octopus was hoping to watch, but he seems to have an idea. At over 4 centuries old, this cephalopod is highly intelligent and knows a considerable amount about Brillo biology. Swimming closer, he offers our Brillo a piece of the exile whale's symbiotic armor plating. One swift motion, and our whale's life is changed forever. Now that he is at last bonded with a partner species, over the coming years, our whale will change in remarkable ways. But for now, the first phase of this documentary is complete. When we next check in with our whale, he might have metamorphosized into something unrecognizable, but that won't be for some time. That concludes all the chapters of South Scrimshaw released so far. but creator Nathan O. Marsh is planning more entries in the future. In the meantime, the full game is free to play on Steam, which I'd highly recommend, as the full experience contains more world-building details than this video could cover. There are also links below to support the creator directly and follow him on social media. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this entry, please lend your support by liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification icon to stay up to date on all things curious. See you in the next video.